They say every old American town keeps one secret buried beneath its cobblestone streets. A story no one wants to remember, and no one dares to tell aloud after sunset. But tonight, we are going to uncover one such forgotten truth. A truth about a little girl who never got justice. And a spirit that still cries for revenge when the wind howls past the trees of Willow Creek. Before we open the case file of her death, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell, because what you're about to hear isn't just a story. It's a haunting that still whispers through the heart of America. This is Forgotten America, and tonight's tale is called The Ghost of a Young Murder Victim. In the late 1800s, Willow Creek was a quiet town, resting near the Mississippi line. A place of timber houses, dirt roads, and fog that rolled in from the river every night. The people were simple, their faith strong, and their lives predictable. But everything changed on the morning of October 3rd, 1886, when a farmer named Elias Harper found something that would scar the town forever. Under a willow tree, just beyond the churchyard fence, lay the small body of a 10-year-old girl named Clara Mayfield. Her white dress was torn, her hands bruised, her eyes wide open, staring at the sky, as if asking heaven why it had forsaken her. No one could explain how she got there. The last time she was seen, she had been walking home from Sunday school, carrying a blue ribbon in her hair and a small Bible her mother gave her. The sheriff called it. Clara's funeral was held at St. Mary's Chapel 3 days later. The townspeople wept as her coffin was lowered into the ground, the sound of rain echoing against the wooden lid. But that night, as the clock struck midnight, the pastor's wife woke to the faint sound of a child humming outside their window. At first, she thought it was the wind, but then came a voice, soft, trembling, and unmistakably young. "Why didn't you help me?" The pastor ran outside with his lantern, but the yard was empty, except for the faint footprints of a child in the mud, leading straight toward the willow tree. By morning, those footprints had turned into something darker. Handprints smeared across the church door. As fear spread, the sheriff reopened the investigation. The townsfolk whispered about a man named Jonathan Reed, a drifter who had been seen near the church the day Clara disappeared. He was quiet, kept to himself, and always wore gloves, even in the heat. When the sheriff questioned him, Reed said he had been working in the woods. But when they searched his cabin, they found a torn piece of a white dress and a strand of blue ribbon. That night, the town gathered, demanding justice. Reed was dragged to the willow tree, the same one under which Clara's body was found. Before the sheriff could stop them, the mob tied a rope around his neck. They said he confessed before he died, but no one ever heard the words from his mouth. 1 week after Reed's hanging, strange things began to happen. The willow leaves never stopped trembling, even when there was no wind. Children heard whispers near the graveyard, a girl's voice calling them by name. Farm animals refused to cross the church fence line. Dogs howled until sunrise, and those who walked past Clara's grave claimed to see the figure of a girl in white, her face half covered by hair, standing beneath the tree, always watching. The pastor finally ordered the tree to be cut down. But the next morning, the lumberjack was found dead, his axe buried deep in his own chest. Years later, the farmer's widow, Evelyn Harper, wrote in her journal that she still saw Clara's ghost every October. She claimed the child's spirit wasn't evil, only lost. She wants her story told, Evelyn wrote. She wants them to know she wasn't saved. But Evelyn also describes something far darker, a shadow that followed the girl, standing behind her in the moonlight. She called it the Red Man, tall, faceless, and silent. When Evelyn died in 1902, her journal was found beside her bed, pages soaked as if with tears. Her last line read, "He found me beneath the willow. He said she remembers me." Over the next century, the land around Willow Creek became abandoned. The church collapsed, the graveyard was reclaimed by weeds, and the town's name vanished from modern maps. But in 1974, a group of paranormal researchers rediscovered the area. They recorded strange activity, cold spots, EVP voices, and a child's laughter echoing from nowhere. On one tape, a woman's voice whispered, "You hanged the wrong man." Two of the researchers never returned from that trip. Their car was found parked near the old willow stump, keys still in the ignition, doors open, as if they'd simply stepped out and vanished. In 2015, a filmmaker named Dana Corbin decided to make a documentary titled The Ghost of Clara Mayfield. She and her crew spent 3 nights near the site. On the third night, Dana woke up to the sound of footsteps in the leaves. She turned on her camera, and the footage that followed would never air on television. The screen flickered, the lens shook, and a small handprint appeared on the inside of the glass. When authorities found the camera, the lens was cracked, and the final 10 seconds showed the reflection of a girl in white standing behind Dana, her mouth moving, but no words heard. Today, truck drivers passing through that part of Mississippi say they sometimes see a girl on the roadside, dressed in an old white gown, holding a blue ribbon. She looks lost, frightened. But if you stop to help her, she vanishes, leaving the faint smell of lilacs in the air. A few even say she sometimes appears in the back seat of their cars when they cross the bridge over Willow Creek, whispering, "Tell them I'm still here." Locals refuse to go near the area after dark, and anyone who takes something from the graveyard, even a pebble, reportedly suffers nightmares until they return it. They say the past never truly dies. It just hides in the shadows, waiting for someone to remember. Clara's story reminds us that not every spirit seeks vengeance. Some only seek justice. But if you ever find yourself driving through an old, forgotten town and you see a willow tree swaying where no wind blows, don't stop. Don't look, because she might be waiting for someone who finally listens. If you felt the chill of this story tonight, subscribe to Forgotten America, where we uncover the dark, the hidden, and the haunted corners of history that America forgot, but the dead remember.